have already filmed this video in April and I didn't like it, so I ended up deleting the video and now I'm here filming this video again. If you didn't already know from the title, I'm going to be going through all the books that I've read this year so far. So from January through May. It's June 3rd today, so I've already gone through books from May. Not all of them. I got through the month of May, basically what I'm trying to say is. So yeah, I'm gonna grab all the books and we're gonna talk about it. Now I have to like sort all of this out from first to last, beginning to end. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, we got the stack. I'm going to be going through the stack by the first book that I read in January to the very last book that I read in May. Okay, so here are the statistics. I read 9 romance, 7 fantasy, and 3 fiction, and that all comes to a total of 19 books. And yeah, so let's get to it, shall we? I need lip gloss. Okay, out on a limb, I rated a 4 stars. This book holds such a special place in my heart. I really liked the relationship and I really liked kind of like the life lessons that I was getting throughout the book. I just don't really like how there was like no, I saw someone else on TikTok say this, but there was no climax. There wasn't really something to like even out the book, if that makes any sense. We just saw them like getting to know each other the entirety of the book. I like that, I really do, but I just think that there could have been something more juicier going on, like some drama, I don't know. But other than that, the first time that I saw this book, I just like knew that I was gonna love it. Plot just sounds like my kind of. So basically in this book we follow a story of Winifred and Win. Win and Winifred, they hook up at this party and then she gets, you know, with baby. Wait, did I say? I meant Winifred and Beau. Winifred and Beau. She goes to find Beau later on and then they like form out a plan like, hey, we're gonna work this out together. They form this friendship and then the friendship forms into more, and they both have disabilities, so I really like that because I just love a book with like diversity and more realistic characters. So yeah, love this book. 4 stars. I'm getting hot. I don't know about you guys, but the weather here in Pennsylvania has been crazy because like it's June and it's still cold, but I guess today it decided to be hot. I don't know what's going on. But anyways, Saving 6 by Chloe Walsh. This is the 3rd book in the Binding 13 series, and this is Joey and Eve's side of the story. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if I'm saying her name right. I gave this a 5 stars. Honestly, don't love it as much as Johnny and Shannon's books. I don't think anything will top their books, to be honest, because they are just so sweet and cute. I just don't think anything will top their books. This is Shannon's older brother's story. We just kind of see all his struggles as one of the older brothers, and so he has a really big responsibility taking care of his siblings, literally like trying to survive school and his home life. The timeline of this book is also different because we see Joey's first year of college, freshman, to his senior year. I mean, not college, high school, to his senior year of high school. We see how he forms his relationship with Eve, and we also see Eve's side of the story, obviously. I'm not ready for the other books. I've been putting off redeeming 6 because like it's a lot to take in, but I love this series so much. And Izzy's book just came out and people are sobbing and crying. Next up, I have Betting on You by Lynn Painter. Let me pull up the rating. I gave this book a 3.8 stars. This was like the perfect book for the time that I read it. I read this in February during Valentine's Day, so like it's the perfect mood read for that time that I read it. And also like after Saving 6, after reading all that brutality, this was what I needed. This literally was the most adorable book ever. Bailey is me, I am her, she is me. There is nothing like reading a book and relating to the characters. In this book we see Bailey and Charlie and they meet each other in the airport. They kind of have this encounter where Bailey is annoyed at Charlie because he's doing something, and then they end up getting on the plane and they find out that they have a seat next to each other, so they end up talking the whole ride. I think a year goes by, they meet each other again at this trampoline park. I think it was a trampoline park, and then from there they become friends. They also become co-workers, so we see them together a lot. I really love Lynn Painter. She's like the perfect author if you're in a YA rom-com mood. I can always count on her to get me in a rom-com mood. Next, Iron Flame. I gave this a 3 stars. I just don't know. This is the second book to Fourth Wing. Violet and all her classmates have passed the year and they have not died, and that's like such a big deal because it is kind of rare to pass the first year in this school. They basically survived. They literally survived. You know how people say, oh, I survived high school, I survived college? They literally survived their first year of dragon school. So they're all excited, but like just because you pass the first year doesn't mean you're gonna pass the second year. The beginning of the book I really enjoyed, but it kind of fell flat for me towards the end because I really liked seeing, I don't know, I really like found family. So I was really getting that vibe from the beginning. I just kind of found Xaden and Violet's relationship to be kind of repetitive, and also some parts of the book I was not very interested in. I overall still enjoyed it, just not as good as Fourth Wing. I'm still gonna read Onyx Storm sometime. So yeah, another gut-wrenching book, The Way I Used to Be by Amber Smith, and I gave this, I don't think I even have to check, I gave this a 4 stars. 4 stars, yeah. Trigger warnings for this book, I'll just list them on the screen. In this book we see Eden and her struggles because of what happened to her. Like each chapter we just see her getting more and more drowned in her depression basically. Yeah, that's kind of all I have to say. Need I say more? On to the next book, Unravel Me. This is the second book in the Shatter Me series, and I rated this a 3 stars. Firstly, because I was bored. I'm literally only on the second book, so I shouldn't really judge the whole series solely off the 2 books that I've read. I really want to finish the series, but I don't know what it was about this book. I was just kind of bored the whole time. I only remember some things happening. I kind of blacked out. Okay, so in this book, we see Juliet escaping from her reestablishment. I don't even know like what their organization is called, but these people, they kind of like help her. They free her, but they are using her as a weapon. They just teach her how to manage her powers and how to use them. We see a little bit of Aaron Warner and how their relationship is kind of forming. Don't know what it is, but it's something. Next, I read Beg, Borrow, or Steal by Sarah Adams. I gave this book a 4 stars because I absolutely loved it. This is the 3rd book in When in Rome series. It's an interconnected series, so you don't have to read it in order. This book follows the story of Emily and Jack. Emily and Jack are both teachers and they are very similar people. Because of that, they are rivals. Also, I just really liked seeing the other characters from the series. One example being Annie. I love Annie. Literally, she is one of my favorite characters. I love her so much. But this was just a very fun story. Before this book, I've only read 1 from the series. This one had more emotional depth. I liked what she did with Emily's character. I like how we saw her for who she really is and not just the older sister always taking care of everyone else, always having all the responsibilities. So I really like that we got to see more of her character in depth and not just like the older sister. She also did that with Annie as well, which is why I love her so much. But yeah, there's just more emotional depth in this, and she said that in the book. I think she like she wrote a little note in the beginning. Yeah, so love this series. I need to read When in Rome, which is the brothers story. So yeah, and then I read Funny Story by Emily Henry. And if you couldn't already tell by all these tabs, if I tab the book this much, you best believe I really enjoyed it. If you couldn't already tell, I gave this a 5 stars. So in this book, we follow the story of Daphne and Miles, and both of their fiancés broke up with them, and then their fiancés got together and got married, and they literally got invited to their wedding. So Daphne ends up living with Miles and they become roommates. They develop a friendship, and also I could really relate to Daphne in some parts of the story, and that made me love this book so much more. I really also liked the summer vibes, like the summer lake vibes. Next, I have Reckless, the second book in the Powerless series. like the second real book, because the second book was actually like a novel, but this is, you know, part of the story. So I actually gave this a 4 stars, and I know a lot of people didn't enjoy it that much because they felt it was repetitive, but I actually really liked it for that reason. This also gave me major Tangled vibes. I'm not sure if I am missing something, but I think this book was literally inspired by Tangled. The events that happened in it were literally like so similar to Tangled, and I love that movie, so maybe that's why I enjoyed this book so much. Straight off from the bat, we see the ending scene from Powerless. We see that in the beginning of Reckless. I really like the new setting that we got, like deserty, sandy setting. I don't know, I really enjoyed that for some reason. It was just like a change from the castle type vibe, I don't know, but I really like that we got a change of setting for a little bit. So yeah, I really liked this book. I don't know about you. I'm just kidding. I overall really enjoyed this book. I love the vibes. And then I read Normal People by Sally Rooney, I think is how you pronounce it. I gave this a 3 stars. In this book, we follow the story of Connell and Marianne. Connell is like known as the popular kind of guy at school, and then Marianne is more of an outcast. She's like kind of, people see her as kind of weird, so it's very unexpected to them when they form their relationship, and we just see that throughout the whole story. But it's not like a fluffy rom-com relationship. Their relationship is complex. Honestly, the ending, it kind of got me. It's whatever, I guess. I heard that they have a show for this, so I might watch it. I don't know, because like, you just know when a book is so much better than a show or movie, and it's like so disappointing. So yeah. And then I read Animal Farm by George Orwell. First, I gave this a 4 stars. It's a very small book. That's because it gets straight to the point. So basically, this book, we see these farm animals, and they kind of struggle because the humans are so bad, and they're honestly just really sick and tired of the humans, so they form this plan to get rid of the humans, and they get rid of them. That's not a spoiler, but they get rid of them, and then they kind of group up together and be like, hey, so what's next? What do we do now? Everyone gets their own role, and some people are leaders, some people, why am I saying people? These are animals. Some animals are leaders, others are like workers, like they literally do all the work, and the leaders are just like, yeah, you do that. As the reader, we see that what they're doing is wrong and corrupted, and they're basically manipulating all the other animals on the farm. The end was a bit of a twist and also a bit kind of creepy. I've literally seen edits on this book because it has a cartoon, and it's so scary. Like, why is it kind of scary? So yeah, I definitely recommend you read this book if you ever see it, because it's really small. It's a quick read, but very effective. So yeah. Up next, I have one of my most favorite reads of this year, possibly my favorite read of this year, Sunrise on the Reaping, easiest 5-star of the year. This is Haymitch's backstory and his game, and it's not just any game, it's the Quarter Quell, so like it's more extreme than the average Hunger Games. They're making the movie adaptation, and it's coming out next year, so I'm really excited for that. And we see how he got to the point of where he is in, you know, the original Hunger Games. But yeah, now I have Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. I gave this book a 5 stars. There is so much fur on my leggings. I don't know where my lint roller is, but I'm just gonna have to deal with this. It's really annoying, actually. Okay, so Xavier is a veterinarian, and so in the beginning of the book we see Samantha and Xavier have this little meet cute because Samantha's cat has some issues. This book has a long distance trope, so I don't really love that part of it. There was actually a lot of things that I didn't love about this book. I still gave it a 5 stars regardless, because that's just how I feel about it. I didn't really love the long distance trope because was annoying. I also didn't love the modern humor. Like, they were talking about TikTok and Instagram, and they were talking in TikTok slang. Also, Rhysand from ACOTAR was mentioned many times in this book. He was mentioned more times than there was needed for him to be mentioned. I think he was mentioned more than 3 times, which is a bit excessive. So basically, Samantha, she has to move to California because her mom has dementia. So her and her family takes care of her mother. And Xavier can't move to California because he has a clinic to run. He can't just like leave that. So it's a bit of a struggle. Hey, so I'm back because I had to take a little break because my battery was running out. I've recharged a little bit. I've recharged a little bit, enough to talk furthermore. Next up, I read Fearless. This is the last and third book of the trilogy, and what I rated this may be a shocker to some of you guys, but I gave this a 3 stars. This is the continuation of Reckless and kind of like the plot twist at the end. We see that more in this book, and we basically just follow that storyline. We see Kai and Peyton's relationship heal, I guess. At some times, I honestly, towards the end, I found it to be a bit repetitive. The beginning was cute, like, aw, cute, but then it just got more repetitive as we got further into the story. There were also some plot twists and some new discoveries that were found. I liked that. It was a bit predictable, to be honest. Like, I was okay with it. I still appreciated it. Let's talk about Kit and his character. I still don't know how to feel about his character. I have such mixed feelings towards him. Like, I definitely understand why he became the way that he did. Next is An Ember in the Ashes, which is probably one of my favorite series that I've started this year. This is a YA romantasy, and I gave this a 4 stars. In this story, we follow Laya and Elias. It's pronounced Elias, right? I don't know. Laya and Elias. Elias, he works for the Empire. He is actually a soldier for the Empire, and he is also the Empire's leader's son. So he's basically kind of like a prince. Everyone has high expectations for him. What they don't know is that he actually does not want to be part of that empire. He doesn't want to partake in, you know, wrong stuff that the empire does. Like, he doesn't want to be a soldier. So he's struggling with that, and he's like, what am I gonna do? Do I leave? Do I stay? And then as for Laya's side of the story, her brother goes missing because of the empire. And so she tries to find the rebels and ask them for help, but they are like, yo, if you want our help, you gotta give something back in return. She works as a spy for the rebels to find out information about the empire, and so because of that, she becomes a slave. And yeah, that's basically the story. What I was not expecting from this book is how much time we saw her as a slave. I honestly thought we were gonna see her as a slave like in the beginning of the book, and then like we're gonna like go straight to her finding her brother, but no, literally she was a slave for most of the book. Which brings me to my other point, is this book is kind of slow. I'm not seeing that as like a bad thing, but it's not, it's just kind of a warning. Like, don't go into this expecting event after event after event. The setting, I really like the setting. This is like the deserty type of setting. We don't see a lot of Laya and Elias, but I appreciate that because it gives more opportunity for the other books. And I get why this book was kind of slow, because we were building up the world building and getting to know all the characters and everything that we need to know about this empire and this world, so we can like go into the other books and already know enough. Next up, I have Magnolia Parks, the first book in the series, and this came to me as such a shocker. Like, my rating for this was such a shocker because, well, firstly, I gave this 4 stars. I had an idea of what to expect from this book because I've seen so many people talk about this already, and I've seen people say to not romanticize their relationship and just expect a lot of drama and miscommunication trope and all of that jazz. So like, I was expecting that, but I was just not expecting to enjoy it as much as I did. So, but I'm not complaining. In this book, we follow the story of Magnolia and BJ. Their relationship is basically broken. At first I didn't really like both of their characters because I thought they were going to be annoying and like snobby and stuff. There's just so much more to that. Throughout this whole book, we just see them in their dysfunctional relationship. That's basically the whole story. Next up, I have Book Lovers by Emily Henry. I gave this a 3 stars. I think her books are kind of a hit or miss for me. I really appreciate her character. I like the setting, and yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have much to say about this book, so I'm just gonna hop right into the next one. The stack is gonna fall over. Okay, so now I have Spark of the Everflame. I gave this book a 4 stars. I really like Deem as a character. She's like kind of chill, but also fiery at the same time. She's also kind of funny at times. Now last, but most certainly not least, is Daisy Hates, the second book in the Magnolia Park series. And this is not Magnolia and BJ's story, this is Daisy's and Christian's story, along with some point of views from Julian, who is Daisy's brother. That was kind of unexpected. I was only expecting to get Daisy and Christian's point of views, but we also got Julian's point of view as well, which I deeply appreciate because I love Julian. I will say this one had more stuff going on. Basically, it was a lot more serious. Weapons involved and fights and stuff. It was just crazy. That ending was low-key kind of crazy. This series is just so addicting. It's so much happening here. So yeah, can't wait to get to the next book. I definitely will be continuing that series for sure. Okay, so that is it for today's video. Those are all the books that I've read this year so far. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.